So, number to be determined, annual innovation competition here at the University of Findlay. My name is Damon Osborne. I serve here at the university as the Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs. I have many different hats, and you don't want to know about that. This is not one of them, but I'm a nice person, and Carla's like, please, and I said yes. So, thank you all again for coming. I'm looking forward to a wonderful evening of presentations. I've had some previews, so it's going to be awesome. We're now going to introduce our judges. I'll have them introduce themselves from left to right or right to left, from the far to the near.
Well, good evening. My name is Christina Cross, and I am a corporate attorney at Bricker Graydon Law Firm. Our firm is a statewide and law firm based in Columbus, Cincinnati. We also have offices in Cleveland. However, I work here in Findlay, and I work remotely, which is a great advantage. I've been a business transactional lawyer for more than 10 years, but I've been in practice for over 20. My first start in law was in litigation. I was a trial attorney, a corporate business trial attorney on the defense side. So I represented businesses, and a lot of times what would happen was the contract would go south, and so we would go to litigation. And then eventually I transitioned to a transactional practice. And so right now, my model is that I help entrepreneurs, new entities form. I review contracts, non-disclosure agreements, prepare those. I also help businesses acquire and merge assets, sell property, anything that touches a business I oversee. But my favorite is helping new businesses get started. I also help with corporate boards, and I help with dissolution. So that is when a company is dissolving and where do those assets go and that type of thing. So I'm happy to be here. I'm excited. I think these are excellent ideas, and I'm looking forward to judging you this evening.
I don't have near as much to say as Christina had to say. I'm Chris Webb. I'm the Regional Market Executive for State Bank and Trust Company here in Findlay. We're based out of Defiance, Ohio. I'm also the Senior VP of Commercial Lending, so when it comes to new businesses and new business startups, existing business and lending activity that they need, some of you folks would need some lending activity, I certainly see from a high-level review in your presentation, so I might be a guy that you might want to approach for lending in the future, so be nice to me. And I'll be nice to you in the judging. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for the invitation, and I look forward to the presentations.
Thanks, Chris. And Chris is my banker. Yes, he is. My name is Sherry Garner-Brumbaugh, and I am President, CEO, and owner of Garner Trucking here in Findlay, Ohio. We'll celebrate 65 years in the trucking industry in coming up here in 2025. So Longstead, been around for a little while. I am second generation trucker. I say I'm a teacher by trade, but a trucker by heritage. I have my undergrad degree from The Ohio State University. I went to The Ohio State University when it was just Ohio State University. That's how long ago it was. And I have my master's in education from Bowling Green State University. And but now I'm running a trucking company, and I use my teaching degree every day. I have had the pleasure of serving on the University of Findlay Board of Trustees here. I currently serve on the College of Business Advisory Board here, and I'm an adjunct in the College of Business and teach supply chain. I don't teach music, but I did a long time ago. I did teach music at a small high school, but I teach business and supply chain now, which is my passion, and I enjoy it. Live here in Findlay, a longtime Findlay person. I went to Liberty Benton High School, so my roots are here in Findlay, and I'm really looking forward to the competition. I've been part of it from the beginning, so I really enjoy and am very inspired by our students here at university. So thank you for being part of this, and welcome families too, and all of our other students that are here today.
All right, let's thank our judges for being here and giving some time this evening with us. Sherry and I share that my undergraduate degree is also in music education. I was a band director for about 8 years and realized I love music, and I love when somebody gets it in education and I don't love them together. I mean, like, at all. So you find a new path forward, and here I am, Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs at the University of Findlay. Anyway, did you want to share any more? I'll have Sherry share just a few
Sure.
words about why this is special for her.
I would enjoy sharing. So that's Dad, that's Vern, that was our first generation. So he absolutely was an entrepreneur. He really spoke to that, he lived it, and he started his business when entrepreneurship, there wasn't really a definition of that in 1960. But he was a man with a dream, and his dream was to own and have his own business. He started out, he graduated in 1955 from a really small school in Wood County, and he was dating my mother at the time. She was a sophomore in high school, and he went off to work in a factory. And while he was in the factory, Libby Owens, he was a glass maker, windshields, up in Toledo, and he would get laid off from time to time. That's the automotive industry. It's up and down. And he would get laid off, and when he would get laid off, he'd have to find a job. He was motivated. He wanted to buy a Chevrolet. He didn't want to drive his mom and dad's DeSoto, so he wanted to buy a Chevrolet. And so he had to go to work to get that done because he wanted to take his young girlfriend out roller skating in the big city of Bowling Green, because that's what you did in 1955, 56, and 57 is go roller skating. And so he would get laid off, he'd go to work, and he found that he could drive a truck. So he drove a truck when he got laid off, and about the 6th time of getting laid off, at that time he and my mother were engaged, soon to be married, and he said, maybe I should try this trucking thing full time. So he did, and he bought a truck. He didn't have money for a truck. He went to the bank, and he bought a truck. He asked the banker for $600 to buy a used truck. $600. That wouldn't even fill the fuel tanks on my trucks today. $600, and the banker looked at my dad, and he says, I'll lend you the money, but if you're late on one payment, I'm going to come take that truck. That'll be the end of your business. So with a handshake and a prayer, and my mother by his side, they started a business. They started Vern Garner Trucking. And he worked really hard up in Wood County and bought another truck with cash. That's when freight played really well, Chris. And he got that business really well, up and running, and he was asked to come to Hancock County in Findlay and work for Blanchard Valley Co-op, which was Landmark at the time. And so he was this young 25, 26-year-old with 2 trucks and a dream and a prayer, and he was the true entrepreneur. So fast forward to today, from that one truck, we're about 100 trucks, we're about 350 trailers. One of his greatest joys was that he served as a trustee here at the University of Findlay. And I remember him coming to our family, and it was a Thanksgiving dinner, and he said, the university has asked me to serve as a trustee. I don't have a college education. How could I serve as a trustee at a university? And we all encouraged him and said, you're the right person for that job. You will serve it well. And so he did, and it was one of his greatest joys of serving here as a trustee. True to his nature, he volunteered to be on the Buildings and Grounds Committee, because if you knew Vern and you knew his home, he loved a manicured lawn. He loved to mow. And I look across the university now, and our students say that we're one of the prettiest campuses when it comes to our foliage and our green spaces. And I walk on campus and I think my dad has something to do with it. So, thank you for letting me talk about him.
Oh, certainly. Thanks for sharing.
I'll just share a couple. Before he left, he did at the university as a trustee, he left this endowment, and they named it the Entrepreneur. It was the largest endowment to the College of Business at that time. And he wanted to make sure that the students knew what entrepreneurship was and that you can live your dream. And he was the epitome of that. I don't have my father any longer, but I have my mother, and we have the Vern Gunner Endowment, and he would be here today enjoying this. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thanks, Sherry. Thanks for sharing. All right, just a quick review of our process. Each presenter will have 3 minutes to present their idea to the judges. Then the judges will have 4 minutes to ask questions to the speaker. We will have a short intermission between each category so the judges can complete their judging score sheets. Order of events: high school, then the Green Initiative, and then the innovative business. Once the competitors are finished, we will have our last short intermission where you can get snacks, drinks provided while the winners will be decided. You should get snacks and drinks throughout. Anytime there's a break, you should please eat the food. We want you to eat the food. And the very first thing that we're going to have is our high school category. Michaela Oman from Corey Ralston High School. Come on down.
Okay, as he said, my name is Michaela Oman, and I'm from Corey Ralston High School. So, who here gets bored in Hancock County? Is there anything to do? Not really. So today I'm here to talk to you about Southern Thrills, Games, and More. Our slogan is Southern Thrills for the Chills, Let's Have Fun. Our target market is going to be 7 to 16 and 17 to 65. This is so that we have the younger age group and the older age group all in the same area and all of the activities they like to do at the same time. Our starting capital is $700,000, and our goal is to provide Hancock County and surrounding areas with something fun to do. And that is why we are different, as well as we have all the activities possible. Our prices and coin system, so it's $35 for 100 coin points. And then our breakdown is showed up on the screen, but this is so that all the customers don't feel that they are opted out of whatever activities that they like to do the best. Our location is Findlay, Ohio. This is because it's an area with lots of traffic and visibility, easy access, parking, and affordable, with also room to grow. Our marketing strategies are digital and traditional marketing. Our digital marketing is going to be Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and our traditional marketing is going to be radio stations, billboards, sponsor local events, email and text, and then we're going to rely a lot on word of mouth. Our attention grabbers are going to be our influencers, so leaders of Hancock County and leaders of Ohio. Our competitors are places like Magic Mountain, Cedar Point, Goofy Golf, Scene 75, and Malibu Jacks. The good thing for us, though, is that those are a while away. So we are right here, so we'll have all of those areas. What sets us apart? We are a Western theme park, so all of our activities will be Western themed, and all of the activities that you could ever possibly want to do. And we are also local and easy to get to. So next time you get bored in Hancock County, come down to Southern Thrills, Games, and More. Are there any questions? If not, thank you for your time and attention.
We do have questions for you.
Oh, sorry.
Don't run away just yet.
Could you explain your logo and branding a little bit more. You talked about being a Western theme park, although your name is Southern Thrills.
So I know that the logo doesn't really look too southern, but like the wording of it kind of gives that southern vibe, while also showing every activity we'll have, from go-karts to bumper boats to like theme park rides.
Okay, and then what, you have a proposed budget of $700,000, and what percentage will you be allocating to, you talked a lot about marketing, but then also the equipment and just employees. Have you thought about the distribution of how you're going to allocate that startup money towards?
So obviously, we're going to start as a little smaller of a business. So we'll kind of, like, this is the general idea, but we'll have to build up to that. So most of our money will go to the different rides and different activities that we have, to where a small portion will be the employees and things like that.
So I had a chance to review your PowerPoint a little bit before and some of the activities, and one of your target markets is 17 to 65, pretty broad range. So I was looking at the list you provided here: go-karts, laser tag, mini golf, glow-in-the-dark bowling, arcade, escape room, rides and bumper boats and bumper cars. How many 55 to 65-year-olds are going to jump in bumper cars and things like that? So you might. So could you just talk to some of the activities that maybe you're thinking would be a little bit more geared to that older population?
So for the population-wise, we have a lot of families. I think a lot of families and like different friend groups go to these places. So like, even though a 4-year-old can drive a go-kart, so can a 65-year-old. And we just want to make sure that we include all of the aspects of who's going to be bringing these kids to our area as well. So that's why they're also included in our target market.
Do you have comfy chairs for guys with bad backs like me? That's, go ahead.
Very good. Michaela, excellent idea. I think those of us that live and work in this community and have children and have employees, this is probably one of the biggest complaints of our community is entertainment. You know, we have to leave Findlay to find these things, or so I commend you on addressing that issue. The second one is transportation. You know, imagine that's one of our difficulties here. But this entertainment for our young people, because we want our young people to stay in our community as well. So I commend you for that idea. Secondly, I see you want to repurpose the mall.
Yes, I think that's a perfect spot for it because it's kind of in the middle of Findlay.
I agree, and I was in a community that did that with their mall, as opposed to letting it sit vacant and you know, not be, you know, a very good-looking place over several years. So I think that's a good repurpose. I don't particularly have a question, but I will just challenge you. It's a great idea. See through on it. If you need help talking to folks like economic, that's going to be very key, because I'm hearing in our paper that there's some thoughts about to address the mall. I know our mayor wants to do some things in the mall. So it's important to put in your plan to talk about economic, you know, talk about economic growth. Who do I need to speak to in government to make sure that I have my vision come to life?
Okay.
And I can help you with that.
Thank you.
All right, our first brief intermission while the judges score our first category. Oh my goodness, she showed up. How awesome, perfect timing. Ladies and gentlemen, Deantrepreneur of the College of Business here at the University of Findlay, Dr. Kirby Overton, right there in the audience. Give it up for Dr. Kirby Overton, yes. Kirby, I'm on a roll already, and we've just gotten started. Tonight is brought to you in part by EB3. It's Everybody Body Butter, made by Deantrepreneur, that's right, Dean Entrepreneur, Dr. Kirby Overton. It's not a, she's not a financial supporter tonight, it's just in my hair. I mean, it's good stuff. I mean, literally, it is. Do what? It is wonderful. That's why you created it in the first place, for your beautiful boy. Anyway, so while the judges are tabulating over there, I just wanted to share a couple thoughts with you tonight. And maybe this is helpful for somebody that does a presentation sometime down the road. Maybe it's a helpful tip. It's a pet peeve of mine, and I do it. So I mean, like I'm guilty as charged of this, but like super pet peeve. Somebody's doing a presentation, and then they realize, oh my goodness, I've got 74 more slides and 4 minutes left. And they start pre-apologizing for not being able to get through it, and thus eating all of the time that they would have to share the information. Well, I'm so sorry that like I brought way too much information, and I don't have the time to share this, and like you just had 30 seconds of valuable time that wasn't used there. So anyway, I do that too. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that as a Midwesterner, it's like, oh, I'm so sorry about, you know, I didn't give you an efficient use of your time. All right, anyway. You'll get it. Yeah. Thanks, Moms. All right, you guys ready? All right. Moving on to our next category. I can feel that you want to laugh, but you just can't quite. It's okay. You can let it go. Our next category is the Green Initiative, and it's, if I say it wrong, you can correct me. Simon Durston? I got it right? Oh, is it Durstein? Durstein. Simon Durstein.
It's no secret that consumers are becoming more environmentally and health conscious than ever before. However, the fast food industry has been slow to evolve, which presents a unique opportunity for a business like Green Jack. Green Jack is a plant-based fast food restaurant that is dedicated to providing convenient, delicious, and a more sustainable alternative to the current fast food industry. Now, there are a number of problems within the current industry that we look to address. For starters, where are ingredients coming from? Now, a majority of some of the biggest key players in this industry, they lack adequate supply chain policies to keep unsustainable practices out. For example, 90% of all meat and eggs produced in the U.S. come from factory farming, which can be devastating to local air and water quality. And beef imported from South America in particular is one of the leading causes of tropical deforestation. Now, Green Jack looks to avoid these specific problems by offering only plant-based ingredients and having a strong focus on sourcing and transparency. Now, one of the keys to doing this is having sustainable supply chain practices, centered around these 4 bullet points here. This will help ensure that we can limit our environmental impact as well as contribute to our brand's identity. Now, another goal of Green Jack is to set a new standard in terms of waste production and management. For example, all straws and cutlery will be made out of PLA, which is a plastic-like material made out of cornstarch, which, in my opinion, is a much better alternative than the much dreaded paper straws and bamboo forks. All other to-go containers and cups will either be biodegradable paper product or recyclable plastic that can be either composted or recycled in-house, meaning that anything that we provide the customer can be diverted from the landfill. Now next, I want to share a quick summary of the cost structure, and these facts and figures are completely based off of other industry averages and similar startups of similar scope. Now, based off of current projections, we are expected to become profitable by the end of year 3 of operations. And lastly here, I wanted to share some of the key menu items. As you can see, not only are they completely plant-based, but they also fulfill a lot of the flavor profiles that current fast food consumers are used to eating. And prices can be, are comparable to other popular fast food restaurants like Wendy's and Chick-fil-A. So next time you're on the road looking for a quick bite, I hope you stop at Green Jack, where every bite is a green delight.
Thank you. That was a very good presentation. I really appreciated the detail in your presentation on the numbers, and it was clearly thought out. And I think that very well organized. There's one component of it, though, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Where are you going to get the startup cash?
Startup cash. So I actually have, when I built out the startup cost, the idea was that there would be a $100,000 personal investment, and then the rest would be coming from a business loan.
And what collateral would you use for your business loan?
I'm sorry?
What collateral would you use for your business? What asset would you put up against?
What? I actually do not have an answer for that right now.
Okay.
I didn't go that
All right.
deep into it, but that's a great question. Thank you.
Okay. All right. And that's common. It's not, you're not alone. But that's the question that will be asked.
Yeah. Definitely the financial portion, definitely not my first language. It was definitely a learning process. I was going through it, so I appreciate any feedback or questions you have about that.
That's why I hire a finance person that is has a CPA background. That's why I have CPAs that review. You surround yourself by folks that know these things. I don't know how to service a truck, but I certainly have mechanics that do. So good that you know that this is an area that you have other areas of expertise. I know you do. I can see it in your presentation. One last question.
Sure.
Supply chain. You know that has been devastating to our country. The world has really changed. What happens if that supply chain, there's an interruption in the supply chain for the food that you want to bring to Green Jack?
Absolutely. That's a great question. And one of the things that I considered when kind of choosing a location, I think that when we expand, we have to make sure that we are putting these restaurants in locations where we can source these products regionally. That way, the farmers are closer to us. We can have alternative solutions to getting those products to us instead of, relying on lettuce coming from all the way from California or something. We want to make sure that these, especially our produce, a majority of the produce, can be sourced regionally. So, yeah. Thank you.
So as I understand, your model is that you want to launch the first one and then have a franchise operation. So where are you planning to launch the first one?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, I would love to put one in Findlay. Definitely further research would have to go into, like I mentioned, the farms that are surrounding to see if they can supply a majority of our produce and to make sure that we have the right demographic. Obviously, plant-based food in general is not always adopted with open arms, so we got to make sure that we have a good population in the area that we choose.
Excellent. And you know that a lot of startups actually do occur here in Ohio because we are a test state. So I think your plan to have your first one in Ohio is a good idea. You are also competing against other fast food. And what is your marketing plan in terms of separating yourself from the other types of fast food? Obviously, this is quick and convenient, but you have the health component. How are you planning to market that piece?
Absolutely. I think the biggest piece for us is that we are accommodating to not only a variety of plant-based, all across the board, vegetarians to vegans, no matter the level, even if you just choose not to eat Meatless Monday, for example. We're targeting those groups of people that are kind of looking to kind of lean off of meat, and as well as, if I share the menu, we are also accommodating to gluten-free options and a variety of typical allergens, I would say. So I would say the main piece of marketing is that we make food for all people.
Okay, and as an attorney, you're definitely going to need some trademarking and IP law or legal help too. So make sure you include that in your budget too. I think the legal cost has got to come up a little bit. So,
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great job. Appreciate it. Well done.
Thank you.
As a meat eater, I'm going to lean a little bit back to that. And how are you going to sell to me and convince me to give Green Jack a start? And have you looked into data from anyone that's done anything of any similar nature and what that conversion factor is to bring folks into your business?
Right. So some of the most successful vegan restaurants, as they offer some sort of kind of like gateway food. For example, these burgers in particular are kind of like the main driver of how do we attract meat eaters, essentially. And doing that is providing food that tastes very similar to what they're used to. These burgers, like, I have seen quite a few articles that read like they'd have people blindfolded or whatever, and they'd take a bite of the burger, and it was very difficult for them to kind of tell the difference, especially once you have, you know, the bun, the condiments, and all that stuff. So what we kind of want to do is like say, look, it's plant-based, but it can also be delicious. So
I'd be interested in that taste test.
yeah.
One other question. Looking at, especially as we look through COVID and how the fast food industry and actually how the food industry had to pivot very quickly, are you thinking of this being primarily an order, carry out, delivery model, or are your expectations high on dine-in volume?
We are definitely focused on that convenience, like combining that convenience with accommodation. So I would say we're definitely more focused on the convenience as like having a drive-through like any standard McDonald's or Wendy's, making it easy for people to come in and out. And obviously you mentioned COVID, having that drive-through open will be a key that not a lot of the other vegan restaurants have.
Okay, and Sherry asked you a really challenging question about collateral and all of that. So just looking through your business plan and looking at your expectations on financing and what those rates might be, considering that you would be new and a startup. Christina's right. We really have a lot of programs at the state level that can really help new startups, the Small Business Administration, as well as some programs for the state of Ohio. If you're really serious about this, I'd invite you to really dig into that and look into that, and feel free to find a community banker, find your local community bankers, and just run this by them and find out a little bit more what that process would be like. That way you can really have your expectations set right about what your initial startup costs are going to be, what your financing costs are going to be, and how to go about doing it.
Gotcha. Thank you. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Great job.
Thank you.
All right, another brief intermission while our judges tally their scores here. If you've not been back to Snackland, I highly encourage a visit. I tried one of the brownies, and it was tasty. And I'm still standing upright, so I mean, like, legit. It's pretty good. Snacks, waters, pops. I don't see anybody moving. I'll just keep going. No, I'm just kidding. I won't keep doing it. Okay, one more Midwestern thought while they're working over there. What kind of walker are you? Are you like a, you know, Sunday stroller Midwestern walker? You know, like, hey, me. Or like ultra purpose NYC, right? You with me? I thought like I was that person too until Ron Tully, several years ago, one of our other deans here at the university, he and I went to New York City for a presentation for Quality Matters, some online thing, and he decided instead of going to the presentation, well, we went to the presentation, we did that, but that's all that I did at the conference. The rest of the time, he just dragged me all over New York, and I thought like, I'm a strider until I'm like, hey, you know, buildings, and like I'm in awe, and they're like, people are just, they're not amused with Midwesterners, was what I'm trying to say, is that you're in the way.
I just have to comment on your last commentary, because I think you were at that presentation where I may have been the presenter saying, gee, I have too many slides this morning. Yeah. Yeah, no, but that was kind of purposeful, I have to say. Even though it took time away from my presentation, I really didn't want to have to, you know, be a nuisance to the others, like, oh wow, she went on and on and on about these things. So
it was awesome. It was a great presentation.
No, thank you. But I also felt like reading the room of the audience was important in the beginning, and I realized that a lot of the people sitting in the audience probably already had a good understanding of what I was going to be presenting on. So
I actually completely forgot about it from this morning, because I'm talking about, like, I'm presenting tomorrow morning at AICUO, but like when you brought that up, you did say exactly that. I'm so sorry. That's hilarious.
No, but it is kind of funny. I was like, wow, he's commenting on my presentation.
Does anybody else do that? Are we alone in this
No,
pre-apology?
But sometimes it's hard when you ask ahead of time who will be in the audience, and they said, oh, you know, bankers and other I guess, business professionals, and then the whole room was economic development professionals and
Right.
people tied to economic development. They have a deeper understanding of the more elementary presentation that I had. So, yeah, we quickly had to kind of pivot, I think you saw during that. Yeah.
It was awesome. I understood most of what you were saying. I know all the words were in English, and but I don't deal with TIFs all that often. But that is hilarious. That's so crazy. I seriously cut like 20 slides from a prezo tomorrow. Anyway, are we good? Are we ready? Okay. Let me grab my script here. The next category has 4 participants, and so I'll just have them come up as each one completes. So when we give one a round of applause and have them exit the stage, the next one will come up. And they're in this order: Ethan Lane, Zachary Crane, Kalina Jackson, and Samantha Roars. So Ethan, come on down.
All right, so hi judges, hi everyone here today. I'm Ethan Lane, and today I'm going to tell you about muskie lures. First, I want to show a quick video what muskie fishing is about, because it's too cool for me to try to explain. All right, now that we know how fun and athletic muskie fishing is, let's get into muskie lures. So first, our mission and vision. So our solution and why we started making the lures is because as anglers ourselves, we found problems in not being able to find our perfect lure with the right color combinations, and that way it moves in the water. Our mission statement is that Muskie Lures strives to craft custom-made lures that provide trophy catches and lifetime memories for our customers. And our target market is muskie fishermen that are willing to, And business concept. Our business concept is we are a family-owned business that will make new, innovative custom lures. And our business is going to help anglers get their perfect lure they could imagine. And we want to make every lure special for our customers. Also, our lures will be high quality and long lasting. The best part is that almost every lure we make is different. So the anatomy of a muskie lure. So you have the wire, and then you slide everything down. It goes weight, split ring, tinsel skirt. You have the blades, and then beads to help the blade spin. And then our custom tied tinsel and deer hair. Our cost structure, so each lure is going to cost about $15, but every lure will cost different because the customer has certain requests that they need, so it's going to be different costs. And we're going to sell the lure for $40, and so we'll make a profit around $23 per lure. So our key resources and partnerships, we get our parts from Leaders in Lures in Rockford, Illinois, and we have various online vendors. We already have a few partnerships with fishing services. Husky Muskie Charters in Detroit, Michigan, they fish Lake St. Clair, and Sense of Adventure Guide Service in Charleston, Maine. So what really sets our lures apart is our unique bucktail combination. Most bucktails only have tinsel or deer hair, but our lures have both deer hair and tinsel. See, the lures on the left side just have deer hair, and the lures on the right side just have tinsel. And these are our lures with deer hair and tinsel. So I just want to thank my family and everyone that helped with Muskie Lures, and I want to thank the judges for their time and consideration, and the University of Findlay for holding this event, and Professor Treadway.
This is very innovative and interesting and very colorful. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Do they work? What is the success rate?
Yeah, we tested them in our local pond a couple weeks ago, and they have great action, and our customers think they're great too.
Okay. And then is there any sort of warranty on how long one will last? Are you going to warrant that to your customers? Are you going to provide a warranty?
That's not something we have come up with yet, but as you can see, the muskies are very aggressive and they have teeth, so the lures are going to get banged up if you catch a lot of fish on them. So that's something that's like known in the sport of musky fishing. Lures get banged up, and that's just part of it. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent presentation, thank you.
Thank you.
So what inspired the name? Where did that come
So it's actually a funny story. So we usually go on vacation, me and my family, every year up north. And so this one lake we were at, it's called Moose Lake, and there's a Moose Lake Bar and Grill, and they have a picture of, they have like a thing on the wall, and it's a moose head with a musky body. So we combined the two and said Mooski. So it's moose and musky combined.
Very cool. So I like the idea that you have some established
Yeah.
business. You have an
Yeah.
avenue to sell the product.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
great. So what takes it to the next level? What do you need from an investor? You have rooms full of investors. Where do you want to take the business?
We just want to get bigger, and right now we just have social medias that we're promoting on social media, TikTok, Instagram, and other things like that. So yeah, we were really trying to, we were giving a couple free lures to people that fish on YouTube, so it's going to be in their like videos. So if we can get a video of posted on the internet of someone catching a muskie online with our lure, we think that would really help our business.
What's the production time on one lure?
It depends because they're all custom, but like I'd say 1 to 2 hours. Yeah, so there's a lot of detail in the lures.
I'm learning. Thank you.
Yeah.
So looking at your price point,
Yeah.
at $40 as a non-fisherman
Yeah.
or fisherwoman to be appropriate. So is that competitive with other lures on the market? That's
Yeah,
the first
it
part
might
of
be a little more, but it's the exact lure they need, so people are willing to pay that.
So there's customization.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
obviously.
muskie fishing is very expensive.
Sure.
Yeah.
So is there any competition in the market already doing any customization, or you would be the only one that you're aware of that is doing this type of format?
There is a couple places that make custom lures, but they also mass produce. We could get there at some point, mass producing, but we really like the custom part of it, so.
What's your current customer base since you're up and running? How many have you sold?
We've sold like $1,500 to $2,000, and we started 2 months ago, so, yeah.
Okay, great, thank you, well
Yeah.
done.
Thank you.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Zachary Crane. This is my business plan presentation on Franklin Bridge Performance Institute. So this is a company where I had the opportunity to work for last summer as an instruction intern. I got to learn more about their operations, their facilities, and I actually was able to accept a job there following my graduation this May. I've been working closely with them and their team over the past school year for both their current operations and helping with those, as well as some future growth opportunities and this business plan specifically. So Franklin Bridge Performance Institute, or FBPI, is an already established and profitable golf instruction center located in Franklin, Tennessee. They've served over 1,200 students since their beginning in 2020, and they have a wide range of services that they provide to both club members and the public. In looking at a SWOT analysis, we really wanted to look at the strength of our established customer base, as well as focusing on the weakness of our limited indoor space and facilities, and to capitalize on this opportunity to expand into the golf simulator market. So when looking at the golf industry market, we saw a lot of rapid growth, especially following the pandemic boom. And when asking our students about what they're looking for, what their wants and needs are, they tended to respond with some desire for indoor space and facilities. And when looking at the golf simulator market, we noticed a lot of potential for growth in the coming years. So we decided to move forward with the Learning Center expansion project. This is a new building that we would be putting up. It is 2 hitting bays with TrackMan technology. It is accessible for FBPI students, primarily for golf instruction and lessons, but then also in the inactive hours, we could rent it out for practice, private events, leagues, tournaments, and such. And then there's all-weather opportunities of both playing indoors in the simulators, as well as opening up the screens and garage-style doors behind those and hang out into the range on the nicer days and in the summertime. Now, the startup costs for this include the facility, the down payment, a new website, some inventory, and some advertising, which would total a little over $700,000, and that would be financed through a bank loan that our owner is in the process of getting right now from a bank in Franklin, Tennessee. Now, in a 12-month forecast, this starts with the beginning of construction of the facility in June of 2024, beginning of operations in September of 2024, and this comes to a net profit in that first year of a little bit over $96,000. Now, FBPI, we are well positioned for continued success and growth. We're poised to meet the increasing demand for high-quality golf instruction and services with our dedicated team and the strategic expansion plan for the Learning Center in 2024, as well as some expansion opportunities in the future. This plan, along with its continuous review and revisions and additional plans, will further solidify our standing in the competitive market, as well as working towards our vision of inspiring a lifelong love of the game of golf for all, and our mission there of serving all with quality golf instruction and engaging service in the creation of a community of love, excitement, and excellence. Thank you.
Thanks, Zachary. That was a nice presentation. So I assume you are a golfer?
Yes.
Okay. So what is your role, or what will be your role? What is your investment, your personal investment in this acquisition?
Yes, so my role will be the assistant teaching professional, so I'll be working directly under the director of instruction, who was my boss that I interned for last year. In that role, I will be learning how to teach the game of golf, as well as helping with the operation of this facility. I'll be the person that is in there with the man hours of when people are in there, I'm in there watching over them, overseeing all the technology installation and upkeep of that. And then in addition to that, I'll be helping with some other operations on the other side of the Performance Institute, as I kind of listed in my business plan, some of the other services that we provide.
Do you have any personal investment in it?
Yes, so I will be directly into the cost of this, no, but through this, we are working towards getting all of our staff PGA certified. So each of the costs of that comes from the person. So I've started to invest in that and work towards my PGA membership.
All right, thank you.
So just looking at some of the details, and you put a lot of it in your presentation, thank you very much. I looked at the cost structure versus your first year revenue versus cost. And so can you give a little more detail on where all that costs? On looking at your financing, it's really a small portion of the total first year cost. Can you give a little more detail on where that $800,000 plus cost is coming from?
Yes, so the cost is coming primarily from the facility being put up, but then also we have our cost of paying our instructors from the fees that we're charging the students So we charge relatively high, but we also have to pay the instructors about 75% of that. So, or sorry, 25% of that. So the club takes a 25% cut. And then in addition to that, we have our utilities and maintenance and upkeep, as well as instructional devices and tools that we use for our lessons. And then time spent on the course, we actually pay a portion of that to the club separately, since we're technically a separate division, so we have some of those costs as well.
So again, I didn't get a chance to dig into all the details, but in those revenue numbers, is that primarily student-based, or did you plan for a great deal of off-hour events, leagues, things like that?
So it's primarily student-based, so the Learning Center is available just to our FEPI students, our current students, which is about 700 at the moment. And then they have the ability to rent out the times, buy a membership to come in for you know, some discounted rates. But then they're the ones that are paying for the lessons, the clinics, and the group events, and those sorts of things.
And this is a public course?
Yes,
correct?
it is the only public championship course in the county.
Okay. Can you give me an idea on what the population of the county is?
The county is large. It includes a lot of the suburbs of Nashville.
Okay.
I don't know the specific number of that, but it is in the hundreds of thousands.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And the students, are they young children, or does it go through adults?
Yes, so we have a wide target market. It's not quite narrowed down in this, but we say 6 and up, but that is separated by the sort of service that we're providing. So we have junior camps where we provide camps to children aged from 6 to 12 and then from 13 to 17. Then we have our high school programs and our junior programs for high school and college students who can sign up for that. And then we also have individual instruction for people who are in their young adult years all the way up until their senior years. And then we have some member clinics and camps for the people that are members. It's a wide target market for all of our students, but they all are broken down into our separate services.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kalina Jackson, and tonight I want to start off by asking a question. What do you do with your dog or your cat when you have to go away for a few days? Now, most of you are probably thinking, I get a pet sitter from rover.com, or I get a neighbor to watch them, or you even send them off to a boarding kennel. But what do you do if you have farm animals? Who do you get to watch them? This is the question that me and my family have wrestled with for years when trying to find care for our own hobby farm animals. We have dealt with inexperienced people that didn't know anything about animals, and also have had neighbors that had some experience but still didn't know everything in regards to our personal animals' care. And so there's always been a lot of turnover, and we've had to keep training new people on how to take care of our animals. And these are very expensive animals, and so it would be very nerve-wracking to leave your animals in the hands of people that are not experienced. This is where KJ Ranch Sitting LLC comes in. KJ Ranch Sitting's mission is to provide the best personalized farm animal care, treating your animals like our own, in order that local hobby farm owners can travel stress-free. Your livestock are important to us, and we offer convenient scheduling and free consultations so that you can be comfortable with the person you have sitting your animals. KJ Ranch Sitting will cover the Claremont County community in Cincinnati, Ohio. In the 2017 Census of Agriculture, there were 928 farms in Claremont County, and that this number has grown 13% in the last 5 years. There are very small amounts of farm sitters in Claremont County. I could only actually find 2 of them, and they mainly specialized in dog and cat care, but they would offer farm services at a lot higher price. But again, they were not experienced with farm animals, but mainly just offered it as a way to kind of grow their experience, although they specialized in dog and cat care. So another thing I learned while researching potential competition is that these other sitters hide their pricing until you reach out to them. So they don't give you everything that goes into that big total pricing. So you get this big number and you have no idea what's all going into it. You just ask them to watch your animals for a few days. And so KJ Ranch Sitting wants to fix that. So KJ Ranch Sitting prides itself on price transparency. It's going to build trust among its customers, because trust is a major thing when you're talking about a personal service and you're sitting people's animals. So here we have price transparency, meaning all of our prices can be found on our website. You know exactly what's going in for your animals, and we allow you to make a customizable plan, because each farm and every animal is very unique to its needs. And so we want to be able to allow that through our care here to allow you to customize and make a plan that's going to be great for your animals. And we also offer that free consultation. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation and for the opportunity to be here, and I would like to take questions at this time.
Nice job. I think that if you looked up in the dictionary entrepreneurship, it would define filling a need. You found, that's what a business, an entrepreneur will do. They find a need in the market that someone's not serving, that there's this gap of services or gap of a product. There's a product that they've invented that solves a problem. So I think this is very inventive. I think you're using your talents. I think part of your plan should include your background and your talents, and that is a good selling point as well. Building into your business plan, make sure you build those marketing pieces, and again, I'll later the legal pieces as well, and then your cost. What you cost to provide that service, and then when you get really busy, how are you going to hire to that? So just a couple things to think about.
Yeah.
I really have a lot of questions for you because I think it was a wonderful presentation.
Oh, thank you so much.
How many employees do you think it will take to serve that county, Claremont County?
Yes. So actually starting off, just because, I wanted to start small and keep my startup costs low, I'm going to be a single employee owned and operated by myself. But with hopes to grow really fast, because obviously being one-man show can be there's a lot of risks to that. And so I would be very upfront with anyone that I would be, sitting their animals, letting them know that I am just one person at this time, but with hopes in less than a year, if it can grow fast enough, that we would be able to expand that team really fast. And in answer to that question, I think that, I could see having probably around 5 employees that would be like full-time sitting in that area. And then the cost of like driving and stuff, our hopes would be to actually expand out of that. If we have employees that live in different areas but all work under our company, then they could better serve even a bigger area.
And to follow up, is a lot of times people want to take vacations during those vacation, moments, the summer, holidays. Sometimes those are harder times to find employees. So just something to point out.
Right, yes. No, that would be definitely something that would be difficult in the beginning, and I think that we would just be very upfront when we were employing people that this is a service industry, and so that there are some sacrifices that come with that. The nice thing about sitting animals is it usually can take up to just like 2 hours, in the morning to feed and 2 hours in the evening. So you can still kind of enjoy your holiday if that would be the case for our employees.
So are you planning on giving up your vacations while everybody else vacations?
Yes.
Prepare for that? Okay.
That would be the plan. It's kind of
Great.
a passion of mine, so yes.
Great job presenting, appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I applaud you for the price transparency thought process, because as a consumer, it's really frustrating for me to not. But from a competitive standpoint, something to give thought to as you're getting started up, I think that's really smart. But you may need to pull back on that if you're worried about competition in the area, giving them too much information and make it too easy for them to price accordingly to where you're priced. So just think about that as you get rolling and get started, that you might want to be both transparent and a little bit exclusive with what you provide, so that way you don't give your competition an advantage to be able to compete against you.
That's a good point, yes.
Great, that's all I have. Great job.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ready? Okay. So like they said, my name is Samantha Roars, and I'll be presenting my idea of Running World. So at Running World, you can run, you can throw, you can jump and hurdle, just like in any track meet. Middle school, high school, it's the same thing. It's just track meets, mostly for adults that we're going to specifically be looking at. Where this is going to be at is Evansville, Indiana. It's so close to different cities, so I'm hoping people from those cities will come to Running World for track meets and maybe even fly into those cities or fly into Evansville for these track meets. And then our mission statement is that we strive to bring the fun competition of track and field to everyone worldwide. So why I want to do this is because after graduation, track athletes do not really have the opportunity to ever hurdle again, high jump, long jump, throw discus, or shot put ever again. You do get the cross-country side of having half marathons, 5Ks, or anything like that, but you don't get to compete in the 100-meter or 200-meter or even any relays. So that's why this is the Running World. And then, so also gym memberships have increased in the past 10 years, and I'm hoping in the next 10 years it would increase even more. Plus, Evansville's population is within the area of people having gym memberships. There is certain demographics that have gym memberships, and Evansville has a lot of those. So the finance overview, it would cost about $5 million to start it up, but I'm hoping to get that down with sponsors, partnerships, donors, anything like that. And hopefully in 5 years we can pay it off with a revenue of $140,000 a year, hopefully. This is just a rough estimate. Not saying I have the business right now, so I don't know exactly how many people would come, but this is just a rough estimate. And as you can see, the prices for an adult membership, it does fluctuate throughout the year because seasons do change. So during the summer, not anyone wants to really be inside with the weight room or even just walking around the track. They'd rather be outside, so the prices will go down. But during the winter, it's snowing, it's icy, no one wants to be walking or running outside, so the prices do increase for that reason. So this is what it would look like. The red stuff is for members only, and then the yellow stuff is for meet members. And then if members of the Running World want to go on the yellow side during a meet, that they would just have to pay an additional charge, but it would be discounted. Any questions?
So will there be PT people on site for older people that need to stretch before and after?
Yeah,
the
so I'm
meets?
planning to have a physical therapist possibly be in the area also, have a little building by Running World for it, or even athletic trainers. And then I also want to have personal trainers and nutritionists also, just to help bring the costs down and the revenue up.
And then what about an on-staff medic or someone also? I'm just imagining tearing a ligament or something just in my older age running track.
Yeah, so especially during meets, we would have those people, not necessarily during just open hours, because this would be a membership of a gym, so it would be open certain hours just to train, and so we can't really have a medic on site 24/7 or anything like that, but definitely during the meets we would.
And with the membership, will you be asking members to waive liability, I imagine?
Yeah, so in my business plan, I have a liability paper that they have to fill out every year, and it costs $5, so that way we get more of a revenue from them. So any new member, even a new track meet person who comes just for one track meet, they still have to sign it, so we get that extra $5 per person.
Great, very good.
So I'm trying to capture your vision of this. I think it's exciting. I presume you're a runner, you're a track person, and that's part of the passion here of having this business model. Doing something you love, it doesn't end up being work. So I'm just trying to capture your vision. So pickleball is really big right now. Pickleball is very big. Is your vision to have adult hurdle competitions or running competitions or things like that?
Yeah, so during the fall, winter, and spring, we would have weekly track meets. So on Tuesdays, there would be elementary track meets, and then so forth. Sundays would be adult track meets, so it'd specifically be for anyone older than graduation age, pretty much. And then we would have colleges and high schools rent out the place for their track meets, or even just will host their own.
So off-season, for those competitive athletes are still competing, maybe off-season, kind of?
Yeah, so the gym membership would just be for anyone to come in during those open hours to practice with hurdles and blocks, or anything that you would need for a track and field athlete would be there for them to practice with.
So I happen to have a little experience looking at these types of facilities in a past life, more the multi-sport route versus the exclusivity. You've presented this as a pretty exclusive, and you mentioned that your full packet, that it is limited and your target market is a relatively small market. So understanding that you've already got a narrow market, thinking about the fact that during the off-season, during the summer months where indoor is less attractive, thinking about how to multi-purpose the facility. I think with the size of the facility that I think you're going to need to create the space, assuming since you used the $5 million number, do you have an idea on what the square footage of this building would be?
Yeah, so I looked up how much indoor track is, and what it would cost to put the surfacing, actually build the area, and then the utilities and everything that goes along with it. And then once we make enough money, I would probably put an outdoor track there too, so we could keep hosting practices and meets.
Would this be a full size? Since you're
So
hosting.
indoor tracks are usually about 200 meter, and then outdoor tracks would be about the 400 meter.
Okay, I don't know anything about track, so thank you for that clarification for me. I think it'd be awesome if you do so well with this that you're able to pay off a $5 million note in 5 years. That might be a little overzealous, put a little strain on cash flow. So it's great to try to pay debt down, obviously, but you have to have the cash to do it, and you have to have cash to continue to operate. So I think when you're talking about building a facility and looking at real estate, you're looking for a much longer amortization period. to give you a little bit of room to grow and room to grow the business, as well as help deal with those low volume times where things might not be as busy or as great as your plan is going to be. You don't get as many meets because you still have to have cash to keep the lights on and keep people paid, because you talked about a pretty sizable staff. So think about, what that's really going to take, and really you're going to need to do some cash flow analysis to understand what the cash demands are going to be, and how quickly you're going to have to generate that revenue in order to meet those demands and meet your financing but utilities cost. I had another question and I think I just lost it. On the meets.
Mm-hmm.
So what gives you the confidence that there's a demand for these meets, and that there's a market out there for those? Have you seen this model somewhere else? Have you seen it implemented?
So yeah, there is one other place that does have it. It's in Louisiana, and it's like way down south in Louisiana, so like no one's gonna really travel there, it's like, especially like all the way up here. Like I'm not gonna go to Louisiana for a meet, but I might go to Evansville because that's only a few hours away compared to Louisiana. They in Louisiana, it's only a club. It's not really like a weight room facility or anything. It's just like they get together and run pretty much.
Understood. Well, again, applaud you for your passion for the sport and what you'd like to do. I think you should not get discouraged if this turns out to be a bigger bite than what you might think it is, and think about who you could partner with so you could continue to execute your vision and build upon somebody else's and just improve theirs, but still have your own individuality associated with it. So.
Yeah, I think some good sponsors would be like retired athletes or even like Olympic athletes from Indiana to go there and possibly like donate some money, or even get more people to come to the facility with having those athletes there.
That would be great. Good luck with securing their interest. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's give it up one more time for our, oh my God, sorry. Let's give it up one more time for our student presenters. How about that? I'm thinking back to a couple hundred years ago when I was an undergraduate, and I did not have the confidence and wherewithal to come up and present, not just present the information, but like, those are serious questions. The judges are not messing around with that. So I'm just reflecting on my intermissions so far. First one, inadvertently offend one of our judges. Second one, she roasts me back, which is awesome. Third one here, stay away from that entirely and lean on I love my wife card. How about that? So anybody pick up like a new thing because of COVID? Like you got a new thing going on at your house, a new hobby, something? I bought a ping pong table and I love it. That's one. Nobody else did anything? No, I'm the only one. I have an adventure. So my wife is super crafty, and she's artistic. So we started doing watercolor painting, and she does like water lilies on a pond, and it's beautiful. And I do like circles with color. It's like when you take your kid to the thing, Carl, great job, But we also do together, we do this thing called fluid art painting or pour painting, acrylic pour painting, maybe you've heard of it. Something like this. So carefully painted no, I'm just kidding. She poured paint, and then you kind of stretch it out, and we let it dry, and then I pour a liquid resin over that and let it dry. And I love this because I'm terrible at it, and I'm getting better. So the resin part of this is incredibly hard because hair and dust, and they all show up. It looks like glass if you do it right, and when you don't, you can see all the imperfections. But I want to share this to brag on my wife and not get in trouble for being, silly. So, wonderful presentations by our students tonight. Let's give another round of applause for our judges for being here and giving time for us this evening. And I think, are we doing thank you gifts for the judges now, or? Yes. That is a yes? All right. Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay. But you guys are done with the tallying. Everything is good to go. Did I mention that we do have snacks? I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, that they are still available. Nobody has taken them away. I can see them right there, especially the cauliflower. I mean, it's just like, ultra white back there. You can see it. It's the awkward teacher silence right now. What is my pen? Oh, right here. It is, it's our academic logo for the university when we rebranded in February of 2016. It represents the arch, our old main building. What else? 6 colleges. Does it really? Oh, very cool. Awesome. Okay.
They're going to present some thank you gifts. Thank
Okay.
you again, judges, and for you, Damon.
Oh.
And then we want me to let you announce the winners.
No, I thought it
Once,
was cool. The judges do it.
obviously, the first 2 divisions we have 1 competitor in each division, so it's not a huge surprise. But we'd like to have them up on stage and have a quick photo with our large checks that you cannot take home. So since Damon has a gift in his hand, I'm going to go ahead and announce that we'll do the high school division first. We have Michaela Oman from Corey-Rawson High School. So, gentlemen, will you bring up the check, and Michaela will come up, and now I got to run over there and get my camera, unless one of my basketball players wants to take a photo. Damon, you're disappearing, though. Do you want to hand it? Kirby, do you want to come up and be a part of you look amazing. This is Kirby Overton, the Dean of the College of Business, who inspires all of us to just be rock stars. And Sherry? Oh, yes. So, and Michaela, I've actually met with Michaela's family and her. I believe I'm going to see her in my classroom next year. So super, extremely exciting to have a high school competitor that will also be on our campus next year. Make sure you get a couple. Did you get a couple? Get a couple. Yeah, they already moved. All right, take a couple. All right, smile, and make sure you get a good picture, Keegan. No pressure. Do you want to announce the next? Sure. All right, so this one's done. I'm going to make sure the checks come up in the right order and take photos.
All right.
I believe I did that right. Made me nervous. But.
You did a great job, Carla. Far better than I've done all evening. I appreciate that. Our next winner to come up from, give it up one more time. Sorry. Way to go, Michaela. Yeah, I was giving props to our college students, and they're used to this. They're in a class to do things like this, and we have a high school student like, yeah, sure, I got it. Not me. The winner for our green initiative is Simon Durstein. Mm-hmm. Sorry. I did laugh. It was more of a chortle. All right. Congratulations, Simon. All right. I'll do whatever you tell me to do. In our innovative business category, we had 4 competitors, and in 4th place, for a prize of $500, Samantha Roars. All right, congratulations. In 3rd place, for a prize of $1,000, Zachary Crane. I'll refrain from what I was going to say. Our second place winner for a prize of $1,500 is Kalina Jackson. Congratulations, Kalina. What I was going to say is, you know, when you get to that stage, 3, 4, 3, usually then you do 1 because now there's not really suspense. We had 4 people. 3 people have gone. Our first prize winner for a prize of $2,000 is Ethan Lane. Congratulations. Mooski. Oh, goodness. Thank you once again for coming out tonight. Parents, friends, family, students, competitors, judges, thank you so much for giving of your time. Let's have one more round of applause for everybody and for you for putting up with me. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Good night.